Okay, let's simplify these radicals. Square root of 75. 75 is 3 times 25. Well, hopefully you recognize that 25 is a perfect square, and the square root of 25 is 5, and then we would just leave the root 3. But if you're going to use the process we just learned, I'm going to break 25 down into 5 and 5. Circle the 5s. I have a pair of 5s, so I'm going to take the 5 and put it out front. And then poor Mr. 3, he doesn't have a buddy. He's going to stay inside the house. So fully simplified, 5 square root of 3. Next one is the square root of 128. 128 is, I don't honestly know what divides into 128, other than I know that this is an even number. So when you have an even number, it's always going to be divisible by 2. So if all else fails, if you can't think of any numbers that are factors of your radicand, just go ahead, if it's even, go ahead and start by factoring out a 2. So 128 is 2 times something. So I'm going to take 128 and divide it by 2. And 128 divided by 2 is 64, which, how convenient is that? 64 factored into 8 and 8. So I could keep factoring 8 and 8 until I get all prime numbers, but why not stop, circle this pair of 8s, and then I can write the 8 out front, and then poor 2, he's all by himself. The 2 is going to be stuck under the square root. So even though 8 and 8 both are not prime numbers, I have a pair. So whenever you get a pair, stop, circle the pair. Why factor it further when you're just going to have a whole bunch of different pairs? So if you arrive at a pair, stop and circle it. Okay, square root of 384. Same thing, 384. I don't know what divides into it, so I'm going to do 384 divided by 2. 384 is 2 times 192. Again, I don't know what goes into 192, but I know it's even, so I'm going to do 2 and 96. Again, I don't know what goes into 96, so I'm going to divide by 2. 2 and 48. Now we're in business. 48 is 2 and 24. I'm running out of room. 24 is 2 and 12. 12 is 2 and 6. And 6 is 2 and 3. Woo! Have mercy. Okay, got a pair of 2s. Circle them. I got a pair of 2s. Circle them. I got a pair of 2s. Circle them. So this is where it can get a little messy when you're doing this method. I took 384 and divided it into 2 and 192. So the 384 is bye. I don't need it anymore because I divided it into 2 and 192. Then I took the 192 and split it into 2 and 96. So it's gone. Then I took the 96 and divided it into 2 and 48. So it's gone. So like these numbers, some people want to circle these numbers, but I've taken this 48 and divided it into 2 and 24. So the 48 is gone because I took it and I broke it apart into 2 times 24. So I'm just left with these numbers. So I have a pair of 2s, my pink pair of 2s, so I'm going to pull a 2 out. I have my yellow pair of 2s, so I'm going to pull another 2 out. I have my green pair of 2s, so I'm going to pull another 2 out. Then I have underneath the square root, I have a 2 and a 3. I have this 2 that doesn't have a buddy, and I have this 3 that doesn't have a buddy. So I'm going to multiply these 2's that I pulled out on the front, and I'm going to multiply these numbers that I kept inside. So sometimes you're going to have 2 numbers or more that are going to stay underneath the square root because it has to be a pair. So I don't have a pair of 2s, I just have 1 2. I don't have a pair of 3s, I just have 1 3. So I'm going to multiply the pink 2, the yellow 2, and the green 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then 2 times 3 underneath is 6. Okay, and then finally number 4, square root of 540 is 54 times 10. Whenever something ends in 0, it's a multiple of 10. 54 is 6 and 9. 10 is 5 and 2. 6 is 2 and 3. And 9 is 3 and 3. So this one's a little weird as well. I have this pair of 3s, so I'm going to circle that pair of 3s. And then I have a pair of 2s. I just have 1 2 over here and 1 2 over there on the left. So I do have a pair of 2s. So I have a pair of 2s. I have a pair of 3s. So I'm going to multiply those, 2 times 3. And then I have my 3 that doesn't have a buddy. And I have my 5 that doesn't have a buddy. So this ends up being 6 root 15.